Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. You are listening to Pod Studio, the place where we practice English together by talking about real life. I'm Alex, and I'm so happy you're here today.
And I'm Emma. Hi, Alex, and hi to all our listeners. It's a beautiful day to sit down, relax, and maybe grab a cup of coffee while we chat.
Exactly. Today on Pod Studio, we are talking about something that is a little bit difficult, but very important for everyone. We are talking about when friends disappoint you.
Ooh, that is a big topic. It happens to everyone, doesn't it? It's part of being human, but it can be really hard to talk about in a second language.
That's why we chose it. When we say disappoint, we mean that feeling when someone doesn't do what you expected or they let you down. It's that sad or frustrated feeling when a friend isn't there for you.
Right. Learning how to express those feelings in English is so useful because friendships are global now. You might have friends from all over the world, and you need the right words to navigate these situations.
So, take a deep breath, find a comfortable spot, and let's dive into our conversation. Before we start, if you want more fun English podcasts like this, hit the subscribe button right now and join our English learning family.
It really helps us pro. You know, Alex, I was actually thinking about this because of something that happened last week. I had a small situation with a friend, and I felt quite let down.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. What happened? If you don't mind sharing, of course.
Well, it wasn't a huge thing, but it stayed in my mind. We had plans to go to the cinema on Friday night. I was really looking forward to it because I've been so busy at work. I needed a break. But then, 30 minutes before we were supposed to meet, she sent me a text message saying she couldn't come.
30 minutes? That's very short notice. When we say short notice, it means telling someone something only a very short time before it happens. That can be really annoying.
Exactly. It was very short notice. She said she was too tired. I understand being tired. We all get tired. But I had already finished my dinner and I was putting on my shoes.
I would be frustrated too. Did you feel disappointed in her or just disappointed about the movie?
A bit of both. I was disappointed in her because she didn't seem to value my time. When you value something, you think it is important. I felt like my Friday evening wasn't important to her.
I think that's a common way friends disappoint us. It's about reliability. Reliability is a big word, but it just means being a person that others can trust to do what they say they will do. If you are reliable, you show up.
That's a great word, reliable. I want my friends to be reliable. But I also wonder, am I being too strict? Sometimes life happens.
It's a balance, isn't it? I had a friend a few years ago who was never on time. Never. If we said, let's meet at 7, I knew he would arrive at 7:30 or even 8. At first, I was just a little annoyed, but after a year, I started to feel really disappointed every time we met.
That sounds exhausting. Did you ever tell him how you felt?
I did, eventually. I told him, hey, when you were late, I feel like you don't respect my schedule. He was actually surprised. He didn't think it was a big deal. He thought because we were close friends, being late was okay.
That's interesting. Sometimes people have different ideas about what friendship means. To him, being relaxed about time was a sign of close friendship. To you, being on time was a sign of respect.
Exactly. We had different expectations. Expectations are the things we believe should happen. My expectation was punctuality, being on time. His expectation was flexibility.
I like that word, expectations. I think most disappointment comes when our expectations don't match reality. I expected my friend to value my Friday night, but her reality was that she just wanted to sleep.
So, how did you respond to her text? Did you send a mean message back?
No, I didn't want to be mean. I just said, oh, okay, I'm sorry you're tired. Maybe next time. But inside, I was thinking I won't ask her to go to the cinema again for a long time.
See, that's a reaction. You're changing your behavior because you were let down. Do you think you were holding a grudge?
Holding a grudge. That's a cool expression. What does that mean exactly?
To hold a grudge means to stay angry at someone for a long time after they did something wrong. You don't forgive them, you keep the anger inside like a little heavy stone.
Oh, I see. Maybe a little bit. I wasn't screamingly angry, but I felt a coldness in my heart. Is that a grudge?
Maybe a tiny one. It's hard not to hold a grudge when you feel like someone isn't putting in the same effort as you. Effort is the work you put into a relationship.
Yes, effort. A friendship should be a two-way street. Have you heard that one before?
I love that phrase. A two-way street means that it goes both ways. I give some energy, you give some energy. If only one person is driving, the car doesn't go very far. Or wait, that metaphor doesn't work. If only one person is giving, the friendship becomes unbalanced.
Right. It's like a seesaw at a park. If one person stays on the ground and the other is high in the air, no one is having fun.
So let's talk about the bigger things. Missing a movie is one thing, but what about when a friend isn't there for you during a tough time? A tough time is a difficult period in your life, like a breakup or losing a job.
That's much more serious. I remember when I moved to this city, I felt very lonely. I called a friend back home because I needed to talk. I needed support. Support is when someone listens to you and helps you feel stronger.
And was she supportive?
Not really. She kept changing the subject to talk about her new car. Every time I said, I'm struggling a bit, she said, oh, that's too bad, but listen to the sound of this engine. I felt so disappointed. I felt invisible.
That is a very lonely feeling. It's like she wasn't tuning in to your emotions. When we tune in, we pay attention and try to understand how someone else feels, like a radio finding the right station.
Exactly. She was on a completely different station. It made me realize that she was a fair weather friend.
Oh, that's a classic English idiom, a fair weather friend. A person who is only your friend when the weather is fair or good. When life is easy and fun, they're there. But when the rain starts, when life gets hard, they disappear.
Yes, she was fun at parties, but she wasn't there for the rain. It's hard to realize that someone you like is a fair weather friend. It makes you question the whole friendship.
Do you think you can stay friends with someone like that?
I think so, but you have to change your expectations. I realized I could call her if I wanted to talk about cars or movies, but I shouldn't call her if I'm crying. I had to put her in a different category.
That's a very healthy way to look at it. Not every friend can be a best friend or a bestie. Some friends are just activity friends.
Activity friends? Like friends you only do specific things with?
Yeah, maybe you have a friend you only go to the gym with, or a friend you only talk about books with. They might not be the person you call at midnight when you are sad, and that's okay. The disappointment happens when we treat an activity friend like a best friend.
That's so true. We expect too much from the wrong people. But what about when you're the one who disappoints a friend? Has that ever happened to you, Alex?
Oh, definitely. I'm not perfect. I remember I forgot a close friend's birthday once. I felt terrible. A birthday is a big deal for her, and I forgot. The day passed, and I didn't call or text.
Oh, man. What did she do?
She didn't say anything for 2 days. Then she sent me a message saying, I'm a bit hurt that you forgot my birthday. I felt a pit in my stomach. That's an expression we use when we feel guilty or nervous. You feel it right in the middle of your body.
I know that feeling. It's a heavy, sinking feeling. So how did you fix it? How do you make amends?
Make amends. That's a good phrase. It means to do something to fix a mistake you made. I apologized immediately. I didn't make excuses. I didn't say, oh, I was so busy, it's not my fault. I just said, I am so sorry, I messed up. You are important to me, and I forgot.
That's the best way. Sometimes when we disappoint people, we try to explain why we did it, but it sounds like an excuse. An excuse is a reason you give to say why a mistake isn't your fault. But usually the other person just wants to hear, I'm sorry.
Exactly. And then I took her out for a very nice lunch. I tried to show her with my actions that I cared. I think actions speak louder than words is very true in friendships.
Actions speak louder than words. I love that. It means what you do is more important than what you say. You can say, I'm a good friend all day, but if you never help your friends, the words don't mean anything.
Right. So we've talked about being late, missing movies and forgetting birthdays. What about betrayal? That's a much stronger word.
Betrayal. That's when a friend breaks your trust completely, like telling a secret you asked them to keep. That is the ultimate disappointment.
If a friend tells your secret, is the friendship over?
For me, it depends on the secret, but trust is like a mirror. If you break it, you can glue it back together, but you can still see the cracks.
That's a poetic way to put it. The cracks are always there. I think if a friend betrays my trust, I need a long time to process it. To process means to think about something and understand your feelings about it.
I think communication is the key here. We use that word a lot in English learning, but in friendship, it just means talking honestly. If you are disappointed, you should probably say something instead of just disappearing.
I agree, but it's scary. It's hard to say, hey, you disappointed me. You don't want to start an argument. An argument is a verbal fight.
It is scary, but a real friend will listen. If they get angry because you told them your feelings, then maybe they aren't such a great friend after all.
That's a good point. A strong friendship can survive a little disappointment. It can even become stronger because you learned how to solve a problem together.
You know, I read somewhere that we should give people grace. To give grace means to be kind and forgiving, even when someone makes a mistake, because we all have bad days.
I like that. Give people grace. Maybe my friend who was late was having a really stressful morning. Maybe your friend who canceled the movie was feeling really depressed and couldn't leave the house. We don't always know what is happening in someone else's life.
Exactly. We should be empathetic. To be empathetic is to try to feel what the other person is feeling.
But at the same time, we have to set boundaries. Boundaries are like invisible fences. They tell people what is okay and what is not okay. For example, a boundary could be, it is not okay to call me after 11 p.m. unless it is an emergency.
Boundaries are so important for mental health. If a friend constantly disappoints you and never changes, even after you talk to them, then a boundary might be spending less time with them.
It sounds a bit sad, but sometimes friendships just fade away. They don't end with a big fight. They just slowly get smaller and smaller until they disappear.
Fade away, like a color getting lighter in the sun. It's a natural part of life, isn't it? We grow, we change, and sometimes we grow in different directions from our friends.
It is natural, but it still feels a bit like a disappointment. You remember how close you were and you wonder why it changed.
I think the best thing to do is to focus on the people who do show up, the ride or die friends.
Oh, explain that one. Ride or die.
Haha, it's a bit of a slang expression, but people use it a lot. A ride or die friend is someone who is with you through everything. No matter what happens, they are on your side. They're the opposite of a fair weather friend.
I love that. I have a few ride or die friends. They have disappointed me sometimes, and I have disappointed them, but we always talk about it and move forward.
That's the secret, moving forward. Don't let one disappointment ruin your view of everyone. Most people are trying their best.
That's very true. So, Emma, if someone is listening to this and they are feeling sad because a friend let them down this week, what advice would you give them in English?
I would say, first, take some time to cool off. To cool off means to let your anger go away until you feel calm. Don't send a message when you are heated or very angry.
Good advice. Cool off first. Then what?
Then use I statements. Instead of saying you are a bad friend, say I felt hurt when you didn't call. It sounds less like an attack.
That's a great tip for English learners. Using I feel makes the conversation much smoother. It's more polite and less aggressive.
Exactly. And finally, decide if it's a one-time thing or a pattern. A one-time thing is just a mistake. A pattern is something that happens again and again.
If it's a pattern, you might need to have a much bigger talk. Or, like you said, put them in a different category.
Right. At the end of the day, your energy is valuable. Spend it on people who make you feel happy and supported.
This has been such a good talk, Emma. I feel like I've learned a lot about how to handle these situations.
Me too. It's always good to clear the air.
Clear the air, another great one. To clear the air means to talk about a problem so that it stops being a problem and everyone feels better.
Exactly. Like after a storm, the air feels fresh and clean. That's what a good conversation can do.
Well, I hope this conversation helped our listeners feel a bit more confident about their friendships and their English.
I'm sure it did. It's not just about the words, it's about the feeling behind them.
We've talked about a lot of different things today. We talked about being let down and feeling disappointed. We talked about being reliable and having expectations.
And we learned about fair weather friends and ride or die friends. I love those expressions. They're so common in movies and songs.
They really are. And don't forget short notice and making amends. These are phrases you can use every day.
It's interesting how many words we have for friendship and feelings. It shows how important they are to us.
Definitely. Before we finish, I want to ask you one more thing, Amra. Do you think social media makes disappointment easier or harder?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think it makes it harder because you can see your friend online, but they are not replying to your message. That creates a lot of tension.
Tension, that feeling of stress or pressure. Yeah, seeing that read receipt but no reply, that is a modern way to feel disappointed.
Exactly. You think, I know you saw my message, why are you ignoring me? But maybe they are just busy or stressed. Social media makes our expectations very high.
You're right. Maybe we should all be a bit more patient. To be patient is to be able to wait without getting angry.
Patience is a virtue, as they say. It's definitely a virtue in friendship.
Well, Emma, I think we have covered a lot of ground today. It's been a very deep conversation.
It has, but I think it's important to talk about the real stuff, not just the weather or where's the library.
Exactly. That's what we try to do here at Pod Studio. We want to give you the English you need for real life.
And real life is full of friends and occasionally a little bit of disappointment.
But that's okay. It's how we learn and grow.
Well said, Alex. I've really enjoyed this. I'm not disappointed in this podcast at all.
I'm glad to hear it. And I'm not disappointed in you either. You're definitely a ride or die podcast partner.
Thanks, Alex. And thank you to everyone listening.
Yes, thank you so much for spending your time with us today. It means a lot that you chose to listen to Pod Studio today.
We hope you feel a little more comfortable with these words and ideas now. Maybe you can even try using one of them today.
That's a great idea. Even just saying, I'm a bit disappointed to yourself can help you practice.
Or telling a friend, thanks for being so reliable. People love to hear that.
They really do. Positive feedback is just as important as talking about disappointments.
Well, I think it's time for us to go. I have a meeting to get to, and don't worry, I won't be late.
I believe you. You are very reliable.
Thanks. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Keep practicing, keep listening, and we will see you next time on Pod Studio.